would, talk about 28-11 advantage in rebounds in the second half against a monster high team. That's effort, and then that seemed like that effort was the springboard to carry his victory. Can you talk about that?
Well, I think anytime somebody shoots a lot of threes, and they're a very skilled team, one thing you want to talk about is trying to get them out of rhythm, whatever your strategy might be. But they can't just shoot shots in rhythm. And then after that, you got to be able to chase rebounds down, just be quick to the basketball. I thought our guys did a good job in the second half of being quick to the basketball and did a good job blocking out. They're a dangerous offensive team, and when they get you in rotations and they shoot the basketball, you don't have good block out balance. And I thought we did a better job of not getting into rotations, and that really helped us on the glass.
Did you, I guess it's stuff we dwell on more than you do, but you were 0-5 when trailing at halftime. You're down 7, at the half, I believe 5, and then they got it up to 7. Just, to finally get over the hump and win a game, especially on the road when you're trailing at half. Talk about that.
Well, we've been in some games where we're down to 1 possession on the road, and it's tough. It's tough to win on the road. It's tough. Those 1 possession games can go either way. When you win, it's great. But when you lose, you really dissect everything you do as a coach and try to get things figured out. But we just try to, make improvements on what we do. Instead of trying to reinvent who we are, just try and do the same things and be consistent. We just need to do a better job of taking care of the basketball and rebound and getting on the road and getting 5 down. I thought we were fortunate to be in that position, just like we were at Wisconsin. I thought we were very fortunate to be in that position, and we capitalized on it this time and really had a nice run. And I always say it, but things look a lot better when the ball goes in. And we had some guys step up tonight and make some shots, and then we fed off of that. And then obviously our effort on the glass was probably the difference in the game.
Kelsey and Jerome, they were both defensively, especially.
Yeah, well, our seniors now have won here 3 out of 4 years, and the 2 games we won before was because guys came off the bench and really gave us a spark. And that's what we talked about tonight, just somebody coming off the bench. Obviously, they're not going to match like Brandon Paul's point output, but I thought they did a lot of little things. That they defended well, but they got rebounds. Obviously, Tyrone's 2 threes were huge for us, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half. But Kelsey made a lot of hustle plays. When we went small, Kelsey was quick to the basketball and really helped us get some extra possessions.
Matt, those previous 3 road games, Wisconsin, Minnesota, West Virginia, did you go back this weekend and kind of dissect those and say, here, if we get in this situation again, we can do this better? Anything like that, or were you just
well, we dissected each game after we played. We dissected the Wisconsin game before we played Indiana. And, we just rushed a couple shots. We did some good things, but we just rushed a couple shots. It wasn't anything intentional where our guys were trying to break out and do anything. They just tried to make a couple plays that weren't there. So it was really nothing more than that. And the second half we played at Wisconsin might have been one of our best halves all year. We started off 11 out of 12 in the field to start the second half. And I thought, we didn't shoot it that well here, at Illinois, but we did some real good things. But, you can't jump over the fight and lose those close ones. You're obviously in the game. You're not getting blown out. And you just got to be a little bit better at what you do.
Did you feel like you were getting good looks, just not making them? And if so, was the second half the best combination of effort and execution?
Yeah, we had our half, the effort and execution was pretty good. It could have been one of the best halves. You go back and you try to think real quick. But it was pretty good. Our execution was good. Our effort was good. We had some looks from the 3-point line. And you obviously know other teams are going to game plan for Jawan. If you don't make any perimeter shots, they're really going to shrink in there as a coach that you're concerned about. You can't talk to your guys about, hey, damn it, make it. They're taking good shots. And so just keep taking, good shots and keep taking them in rhythm. At times we've got to be a little bit more patient. He needs to touch the ball a little bit more. But they're also trying to stop that. So I thought we did some good things in the first half. We just didn't have a lot to show for it.
And you mentioned, you know how much it is to win here as a player and as a coach, and you mentioned winning 3 out of 4 here. Does that speak volumes about what kind of players, what kind of guys you want are?
Yeah, obviously they're real good players, and they've been huge for our program. They've really handled adversity. I think that's what it comes down to. You're going to get in some tough spots. You're going to be in some tough venues. Just handling that adversity and being positive and just keep plugging and staying together. And very similar to life. Everyone has problems, and just try to keep everybody together, stay on the same page, and work through it. Both of those guys have been great. Jawan wasn't, immediately in our program a big-time player. He needed strength. Etuan was a guy from a scoring standpoint that could really help us. He was a good scorer when he got to Purdue. He wasn't a good player, and he's a good player now. To be able to go through the foul trouble and still come back and get 20 points on 9 shots, I think he only turned the ball over once, if I'm not mistaken. So they both really, worked hard. They've been good teammates. They've been fun to have in our program.
Why was the high ball screen stuff so successful time and again there, especially in the second half?
You know what? We didn't like game plan. We do it every game, but we just kind of stuck with it. Jawan Johnson puts you in a bind. He can make that 18-footer. He can dive. He's quick. He's athletic. And then Lou's very quick. Lou's always been able to handle ball screens and do a good job. His decision making is just so much better. When it's not there, he doesn't force. But when he's getting angles, he's going to the rim, so you got to honor him. And then we got some shooters in the corner, so we just tried to space them out our best ability. We kept getting it in the first half and just missed it, and so we just stayed with it. And we went to it a little bit more because Etuan was out. We run some things for Etuan, and he was out, so we wanted Lou to kind of break some guys down off the bounce and just try to get him playing from behind.
Matt, you mentioned Lou. How did you think he played?
I thought he did a good job. He 10 points, 5 assists. He had some nice looks. Made his free throws. That's something for him as a point guard that, he hasn't always been consistent with. He's been consistent this year. Just running the team, being a floor general. He's got a big heart, and he cares. He wants to see Purdue win. And so a lot of that's been real contagious with our upperclassmen.
Matt, when you were saying Ohio State losing yesterday, that goal is still out there. It's more realistic. There's a shot at it.
Right, obviously, mathematically, they're a good team. If we're gonna, make some moves, we have Wisconsin and Ohio State next, so those are big challenges. So a lot of times you need people to help you. Now we have to help ourselves, but there's no doubt that they allow that to, be possible. You still have to do your own work. You still have to win your games, but we just try to stay. I know, and you guys don't like hearing it, but we really just try to stay on that next game. It's corny, but if you let guys float and talk about a Big Ten championship or the next 5 games, they're getting ready to get beat. And so we had a tough time stopping Wisconsin the first time. We'll have a tough time again, but I think both teams will be up for the challenge.
Time for one more question.
Coach Painter,
Go ahead.
Coach Painter, there in the second half, the effort of those guys, they knew they couldn't hit it. Did that effort help open up the offense a little more?
Yeah, I think so. I think to start the game, Illinois had a couple possessions where they got multiple offensive rebounds. It just deflates you. It's like, okay, I'm going to play defense for 30 seconds, now I got to play defense for 30 seconds again. And when that happens, I think it kind of wears on you. We talk about having a stronger will, but it's hard when they keep getting offensive rebounds and then you're on defense for a minute or a minute and a half. And I thought when we kept getting those extra possessions, that really helped us, and it really helped, keeps them out of, keeps them off the offense, obviously. Huh? He said to me it was a hip pointer, and he couldn't go. So that's what he said to me during the game. I haven't talked to anybody else.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.